morelikeradio.com. It's our duty to entertain you. I said duty.
Wow, busy day today, and it's just getting busier. And here's what I mean by this, because, well, like I've been posting for the last week and surprising our co-host Punchy, we've got another guest on the show today, and he's taking his time out on this wonderful Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, the man himself, the wrestling legend, one of my favorite wrestlers, not gonna lie, the man behind DDPYoga himself. We have Diamond Dallas Page with us right here, right now. Mr. Diamond Dallas Page, how are you? And thank you for coming on the show today.
Oh, baby, I'm unstoppable right now. Things are really going great, man. We were just on Sharktank on Friday. They played the rerun, so it just opens up a whole new world again. Nice. to DDPYoga. It's been amazing.
It is absolutely awesome. Thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it. Especially, I wanted to say, because I know your publicist has helped out with this. We have a co-host, Michael Falcone, also known as Punchy, and he's there. He's wearing his. What are you wearing, Punchy? CM Punk today? You're not even wearing Diamond Dallas Page. You're wearing CM Punk. What's wrong with you? He's been using your DDPYoga for a little more than a year now, right, Punchy? Punchy, you're muted. Punchy, you're muted.
Now.
There you go. The joys of
Punchy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Too many chairs to the head or what?
Well, too many bad attempts at Black Crow.
Oh, there you go. I'll do it.
I face planted myself Friday trying to do it, or Thursday.
I'm leaving for the DDPYoga retreat in Mexico for 10 days. And I had two of my buddies. They've been there every year. This is the fourth year. And I met them on the retreat that we do. And, you know, we work out hard. We eat really good food. The place a 5-star, resort. But we also party, because this ain't your mama's yoga retreat either. And the both of them were doing Black Crow. And just so if you know what that is, Sully, you put your hands on the ground, then you put your elbows on your knees, and you balance yourself. Well, both of these guys, David Orth and Mike Mullins, were both, they were shit-faced. That's the only way I could say it.
Absolutely.
And about 2 seconds in, they both face planted on the cement and got up gigged with little blood coming out of their face. Whoops. We were laughing so hard.
Whoops. So what got you into to doing the DDPYoga? Like, what was your inspiration for this?
Well, it was more than anything, it was necessity. Because I'm a guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga the first 42 years of my life. I was that guy. So I totally understand that. But when you start wrestling at 35 years old and your wrestling career takes off when you're 40, that's when my career took off, 1996, and wrestling blew through the cable networks, man. Yep. I mean, out of the top 10 shows, WCW and WWF had 4 of them. And some weeks we were 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, we were just, dominating the airwaves. And my career went crazy, 97 and 98. I was on top of the world, and then I blew my back out. I blew my back out so badly that 3 different back specialists said my career was over. And I just signed a multi-million-dollar 3-year deal. I mean, I was one of the top, according to Pro Wrestling Illustrated, 97 and 98, I was number 4.
Right.
So say easily top 10 and in the world. And, I didn't want to give that up. So around that time, Kimberly and I were still married, and she was trying to talk me into doing yoga. And I swear I was like, F that, I'm not doing yoga. So I was really resistant to it. So I understand guys and women who are resistant to it.
Right.
And after a bit, I had to give in. Now, I'd still been doing rehab. And I have rehabbed both shoulder surgeries back and both knee surgeries back. So I know quite a bit about rehab, but I know a lot about breaking up scar tissue. You see, it's scar tissue that limits your flexibility, and it's scar tissue that causes you pain. So I learned a lot about breaking that up and alleviating that pain. So I'm still going to do the rehab for my back at the time. But I start doing the yoga, the VHS tapes. Nobody modified a position. So I had to figure it out. It was really frustrating. I really, at the time, I really hated all the spiritual mumbo jumbo. You know, not that there's anything wrong with that. I appreciate it today, but I don't do it.
Right.
And I just took some of those basic yoga positions and mixed them with the rehabilitative techniques that I'd learned over the years. And then I threw in old school calisthenics, push-ups, squats, crunches. And then completely by accident, I developed something I call dynamic resistance. And all it is engaging muscles. Like if you're curling weights, if you're moving weight, you have to engage more muscles. So I have you, it's like isometrics meets isokinetics. It's the engaging of muscles as you move from position to position.
Right.
And what I've learned by accident is every time you do that, your heart has to beat faster to get the blood to the muscle. So by accident, I developed what would become known as DDPYoga, kick-ass cardio, dramatically increase your flexibility by breaking up the scar tissue and alleviating the pain, and strengthen your core like never before. And here's the key: minimal joint impact. In less than 3 months, I was back in the ring. At 42, those back specialists said my career was over. At 43, I was the heavyweight champion of the world. So I'm going to keep doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, obviously, you had the drive. You had the drive to come up with something a little bit better, not just for yourself, but you've been helping guys like Scott Hall and Jake the Snake Roberts, and they've come a long way too. We've all seen them growing up. Obviously we've watched them. We're marks as what
fans to it. And I love that. It's a huge part of my team.
Yeah. Now Punchy, because I know we surprised Punchy with this because he was how much did you weigh last year before we started this?
Oh, like late last May, like May 2013, I was about 367 pounds. Today I'm at about 237.
Wow! How will I not have you up on my success stories, Punchy? I find out these stories, guys, every day.
Yeah.
I find out someone new. And this was never about weight loss. This was about healing my body.
Right.
And helping guys, and mainly men. I never developed this for women, even though women love it. Because, a guy won't do a chick's workout, but women will do a guy's workout to prove they can. And I developed it for guys who were beat up in their 20s I got guys in their 80s. I have a guy 80 who teaches DDP yoga for seniors.
Wow.
He's a stud. He can do modified versions of my extreme workouts with me. His name is Ted Evans. He's a stud. But the weight loss was just an awesome side effect. And Punchy, I'm so excited for you. But it's not just the weight loss. Your body's got to feel completely different, right?
It does. I'm much more flexible. I have a problem knee, and it's not been as bad. It's the best it's been in years. So that's huge.
Awesome.
Like when I first started, it was like I had to very much modify catcher position. I had to modify that quite a bit because of the knee. Now I can go all the way down on that.
Now, how did that feel? Because, again, when I first started doing this, nobody had modifications. So I had to figure them out. And when I started to do it to teach people, I went to there, like with Punchy. There's always someone modifying the position, right?
Yep, always. There's always a modification. Usually the position number 1 on the videos.
And the big guy, Punchy, I want to make sure when we get done with this, I get you, I want to get your story, bro. I want to put you up there. That's awesome, man. The disabled veteran, Arthur Borman, who was on Sharktank with me on Friday night, that's the guy that proved that anyone can do this at any level. So you had to see that video to move you towards that, huh?
Oh, that video, and I think I found out about it around the time when you were doing the fundraiser for Scott Hall's hip surgery.
Right.
I heard about it and did more research.
Yeah, that was amazing for the fans to help those two guys out, because that also showed them that people really care. And when you get lost in the booze and the drugs and the pills for decades, you know, if you're not dead, you're wishing you were, and you forget people really care, you know, and that helped in the recovery. But you got to remember, we're still dealing with two addicts here, and they're going to fall from time to time. Jake has been unbelievable. I mean, it's, you know, I think every fall that he's taken has helped to make him stronger. You guys know we're doing the movie The Resurrection of Jake the Snake, right?
Yes. I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be amazing. I mean, I brought in a woman to be like the chief editor, and she is a former addict, 12 years sober. She's had some award-winning documentaries, and she's not a wrestling fan. And when she oversees our footage, she's like, wow, this is amazing stuff. Because, of course, the wrestling fan is going to love because they're going to really be on the inside. Right. But the person who doesn't care about wrestling, just like what happened in the movie The Wrestler, they're going to be pulled in, and just by the story. It's just an amazing story of overcoming adversities.
That I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we've all seen what. Well, I can't say we've all seen in detail what Jake has gone through.
Yeah.
You know, only his real, true, close friends and family really know all the demons that he's had to battle with. But he's got guys like you and Scott Hall and some other people that can relate to him, that can, you know, steer him back to the right track. And you've done an excellent job with it so far as it is. You know?
Well, it's again, you got to get people especially when you're beat up, you know, like Punchy's knee, you know, back, shoulders, hips.
Right.
When you start to get older, especially when you were, you know, a super athlete like we were, well, your ego goes with all that pain, you know, and your confidence and all of that. So you got to give them a workout that, you know, that is there's no impact, or as Scott Hall would later dub, minimal joint impact. And, you know, they got to feel like you're accomplishing something. Like one of the biggest things that I get from DDP Yoga, because there's so many big people that come in and do my program, and much bigger than Punchy. Like I had a kid who was 519 pounds. Wow. His name is DJ Clark. On his second year anniversary, down 240 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know, and he was just at my house. I brought him and his girlfriend to my house for the weekend, to the accountability crib, you know, just to take him now to the next level. He's going to get certified. And he's still got about another 40, 50 pounds to go.
Right.
But, you know, it's not a sprint. You know, when you're big like that, it's not a sprint. It's about creating a lifestyle.
Right.
You know, and then it's a life journey. It's not even a marathon. It's a life journey.
Now go ahead, JT.
I got a quick question for you, DDP.
Sure.
You know, you mentioned the disabled vet that you were that was on the show with you on Friday. I'm a disabled vet myself, a U.S. Army infantry, but I'm also an entertainer now. And I was in a couple of vehicle wrecks while I was in the service. It's really messed my back up. I'm a singer, so I go out and do my stage shows and stuff like that. And I'm at the point where I really can't do any of that anymore because of the issues with my back. Are you telling me, and I'm not questioning you, I'm just asking, you know, are you telling me that the DDP Yoga could help me get the strength back in my back and the flexibility and everything that I would need to be able to go out and perform again?
For me personally, it's the only reason I developed this, because I wanted to get back in that ring and live the dream, especially when everyone told me it couldn't be done. Mm-hmm. They all told me that 8 years earlier, 5 years, 7 years earlier when I started wrestling, and they all laughed at me and said, "You're never going to do it." You know, so I don't listen to what anybody tells me what I can or can't do. But I won't even take me as an example, or Arthur. Have you seen that video of Arthur?
No, I haven't.
I'll tell you what, after that, you'll know the answer. But let's use Chris Jericho as another example. Okay. Chris herniated his L4. Now, here's a guy who's living two dreams. He's not only like a 10-time world champion, he's also got a band with 5 friggin' albums. He's got a serious record deal. Chris is touring all over with Fozzy. I just saw him in Atlanta 2 months ago. His show is awesome. But he's jumping all over the stage and doing his thing. He couldn't do that when he blew his back out. I guess it was close to 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I guess it was 3 years ago. And I sent him the video of Arthur. Saw him on Twitter. Twitter is just amazing. Go on Twitter. You want to see what people think about DDPYoga. At DDPYoga or at Real DDP. And see what they're saying right now. But I saw a picture of Jericho with like a porcupine on his back. He had all the acupuncture.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent him the video of Arthur. He called me back 5 minutes later because it's 4.5 minutes. He said, Diamond, is this a shoot? I said, yes, it is. Meaning, is it real in our world? Shoot or work. Yep. Work means it's set up. His son videoed every piece of Arthur's journey. He started at 297, 5'6", could not walk without the aid of knee braces, back brace, or wraparound canes. He walked like that for over 15 years.
Wow.
In 10 months, not only does he lose 140 pounds, more importantly, he loses the knee braces, the back braces, the back brace, and those wraparound canes, not just to walk, but to run. When Jericho saw that, he called me up and he said, is this a work or a shoot, D? And I said, it's a shoot. He goes, send it to me. Send me your program. I will do whatever you tell me to do. In 5 weeks, he was 85% pain-free.
Wow.
In 3 months, he was 100% pain-free. He headlined WrestleMania. He only does my workout. If you want to know about conditioning for DDPYoga, he toured with Fozzy for 6 months, coming into not last year because he wasn't wrestling, the year before, ready to the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. He showed up as a surprise out of nowhere in the number 2 spot. He does one workout. He wrestled 47 minutes and 53 seconds. Does one workout.
Wow. Just
Google anything or YouTube anything with Chris Jericho and DDPYoga. I pay him nothing to say what he says.
Wow.
And you'll know, okay, I need this.
Now, I guarantee you after we get done with the show today, I'm going to the website.
Do it right now, JT.
No, I'm too interested in what he's got to say.
Well, the video's on there too, the Arthur video too, so you can check.
That's amazing.
Well, Greg's
also,
got a really bad back too, so that's gonna help him.
Yeah, doctors actually told me about 6 years ago to find a new job because if I kept working the way I was working, I'd be in a wheelchair in the next 2 to 3 years. So
I'm kind of in the same spot, so.
Yeah, between that and then having the stroke last year, I'm still kicking.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you had that stroke.
It's been almost a year since I had that stroke.
I think you need to look into the DDPYoga. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to cure strokes or anything, but I'm just saying.
One of the things I said to Arthur and I met him online. That's how that whole story, I was following, the video and everything happened.
Right.
I met him online and we started talking and I said, send me, tell me a little bit about yourself. And one of the opening things he said to me was, I've relegated to thinking of myself as a piece of furniture.
Wow.
And then he went into talking about being a paratrooper and how those guys drop 10 to 15 feet a second with 50 to 200 pounds on their back. Mm-hmm. You can't, there's no like sport landings in the military. It's crash and burn. Yeah. He said he never got up. He had over 500 jumps. He wanted to make his 20 years. He couldn't make it. During Gulf War, he got sent home permanently disabled and done. He really wanted to make that 20, of course, but he couldn't make it. And, he lived in a lot of pain for a long time. And then I had him send me some pictures, and I saw the knee braces. And I didn't know he had a back brace on, too. But I saw those canes, and I was like, how am I going to help that guy? And I have some really amazing ways to eat food. And it's all it is eating real food, not the processed garbage shit that our country has led us to believe is real food, because it's not.
Nope.
And I turned him on to my phase 3 eating plan, which is all about health. Because again, this guy just wanted to lose 50 pounds so he can get his knees reoperated on. This will tell you how important food is. As he went through my journey, the first month, he lost 34 pounds. Second month, he lost 22 pounds. The third month, he lost 18 pounds.
Wow.
That's 72 pounds in 3 months.
Wow.
He would go on to lose 140 pounds in 10 months. Here's the really important part. He's never had those knee operations.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So that shows you what a minimal joint impact workout that will strengthen your, not just stretch your muscles, stretch and strengthen not just your muscles, but your tendons and your ligaments. And I know this because of how I do it. It's completely different. There's no yoga that does what DDP yoga does. They just don't do it. Their whole mindset's completely different. But for Arthur, it was getting the food to start internally starting to heal him along with the workout.
Right.
And that's huge.
Punchy, what's your health regimen like? Are you doing the DDP's version too?
I kind of modify a little bit here and there, but I pretty much cut out gluten because
There you go.
one of the things I actually found out through doing this is that I do have an intolerance. Because of that, I wouldn't have known had I not started doing the DDP yoga and going with the gluten-free portion of it. But I eat clean now. I also like juice produce once a day as well as kind of a meal.
Awesome.
And
Let me tell you guys something here with the food.
Mm-hmm.
There's a movie out there. It's up on. I have a site. Did you ever go get on Team DDP Yoga, Punchy? Did you ever go on there?
Yep, I'm on there.
On Team DDP Yoga on the front page, and anybody, if you're listening, you want to just go by and check that out. TeamDDPYoga.com. Cost you nothing. You get an invitation that when you get part of the program, but it got so much unbelievable information there. On the front page is a movie that came off of YouTube. It's called Genetic Roulette. The reason why the wheat and gluten don't work for Punchy and don't work for so many people who are big is because they have genetically changed the wheat. It's not the wheat that God created. The wheat that God created was 5-6 feet high. Today it's 18 inches high, but it yields 3 times the mass. In other words, 3 times the money. And the bottom line is it's not real. And there's a company called Monsanto who owns the patent on the wheat.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Good old corporate bullshit.
Yes,
That's
yes.
really all it is.
And our great president, and it doesn't matter which president, whether he's a Republican or a Democrat, I think if you want to know what's real, watch wrestling, because politics are total bullshit. But when it comes to the president, he signed the Monsanto Act, which says no one will ever be able even to sue Monsanto. That's how strong they are.
It's amazing. It really is. Something like that is amazing that these corporations can run our intake of nutrients.
They run everything.
Well, yeah.
From the pharmaceutical companies to all of it. And it's all about keeping us sickly. You know, there's another movie called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
Yep.
You know, and these are movies that enlighten, and they're documentaries that will never go mainstream because they're never going to let them. But on shows like this, on programs like mine, we make people aware of them. I'm just trying to smarten people up so that they'll feel better. And once they start, like I was doing the gluten-free, wheat-free, dairy-free, I was doing that shit 8 years ago. No one even heard of that. But I watched how many people I was working with had these crazy results. I didn't even do it myself till 4 years ago.
Wow.
And you talk about knees, like I developed a workout called Wake Up.
Mm-hmm.
You do it in your bed, roll to the floor so you can get up and start moving. I called it Oil for the Tin Man and Woman. And about 4 years ago, because of a woman named Terry Lang, who's one who really smartened me all up to this 8 years ago, I decided just to go wheat-free, gluten-free, and dairy-free for 2 weeks and see what happened. I thought I was hallucinating. I felt so much better.
Right.
By the 3rd month, I knew it wasn't bullshit. It was real. I have never done the wake-up workout again Since then, first, I go right to the mat. I've always got buddies of mine here. It could be 5 of us. It could be 15 of us. And I go right into whatever workout I'm doing that day according to who's there. But I can do my extreme stuff getting out of bed.
Nice.
I will point out with the food thing, too. When I started, like when I was bigger, and I changed everything, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead was actually one of the first documentaries I watched. I think someone on Team DDPYoga actually suggested that I watch that. Among other changes, one of the things, when I started, on my wrist, there were when I left first, there were some weird bumps on there. I didn't know what they were. I never got them checked out. After about a few months, they were gone. So just not just getting fit, but other changes that were positive that were happening after changing the eating for so many months.
Must be doing.
And Sully, understand, my phase 1 is just calorie counting. You know what I mean? Like Weight Watchers. I don't care what food program you do.
Right.
I just added paleo in because a lot of people like that. It's like, okay, that's a good diet too. For me, it's just like try to eat real food. The shit our great-great-grandparents ate. They ate real food. You know?
Yeah. Now you've had a lot of other celebrities come to you about the DDPYoga. One of them, Gabriel Iglesias. We've had him on the show before. We're trying to get him back because he's got a new movie coming out.
Oh yeah, fun.
I'm amazed because I've been watching him since his career started, and from my understanding, you guys have been working really close together with the DDPYoga, correct?
Yeah, we did in the beginning, and then he his tours are so crazy. But he was 464 pounds.
Wow.
And his doctor I met him in WrestleMania that year before. We didn't really get to talk, but I was doing the Roddy Piper's podcast, and he was next. So when I came out of the booth, he wanted to talk to me, and I came down to his place. I worked out with him, and then I told him A, B, C, D. I went through it all. I said, don't listen to anything I say, though. Go see your doctor.
Right.
He had an appointment the next day. He called me up. He was so depressed. He was like, Diamond, the doctor said the only thing I have working for me is my age.
What?
He's 36 then.
I was about to say, he's not that old.
No.
Yeah. So I'm saying he's young.
Yeah.
That to say that he has working for him is his age. It's like, get your shit together. And Gabe lost 100+ pounds. And to tell you the truth, he's feeling really healthy right now. He's still a big boy.
Right.
But I think he's afraid to lose more weight because of, the backlash that came with that. I mean, this guy's funny and he's going to be fluffy if he's 250. He's still going to, if he's 220, he's still going to be fluffy.
Yeah.
Because, he's only 5'9", so that's still a big guy, But, he is, he's a big proponent of letting people know about the program and everything. Right. And, a great guy and a good friend. I mean, his biggest star as he is. And I've seen, you've seen his comedy, but his shows. This is like the one-man show that he does all over, and the behind-the-scenes that go with it. It's pretty awesome. That movie's going to be really funny and really entertaining, and it's sometimes going to be dark, because he really gets into a lot of stuff with that. But I've gotten to know him pretty well, and as big a star as he is right now, always call me right back. Cool. Solid cat.
One of our guests in our chat room, Elite, wanted to know if you could have a dream wrestling match, whether the person was living or dead, who would it be against?
It should have been against The Rock when I went to the WWE. People's Champion versus People's Champion. It would have been an amazing feud. I met him one time backstage. It was just me and him in the Big Show. And he was just so, I was, still there, and he was here then. But he was on that rocket, that he was on. But I was still, I was in a higher spot than he was at that time. And I think he was doing stuff with when he was with Ron Simmons and the whole thing that they were doing with their gang.
Oh, the Nation of Domination. Yeah.
Right. He was just breaking away from that.
Right.
And I'd seen him, we started talking. I said, Jake Roberts told me to keep an eye on you. When you first came in, he said you were going to be a huge star. And Jake said that about me when I was in the business a year and a half. And he said it about Stone Cold Steve Austin when he was pretty, green in the business.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say he had a pretty good eye for talent. And I said to Rock, I said, I saw that you do this interview the other day where you were being yourself, and then you became The Rock. And The Rock says this, and The Rock said that, and then you came back to yourself. I thought that was really entertaining, man. I want to wish you a lot of luck. So I start walking down the hall, and right before I walk out the door, Big Show's behind me. I hear, "Hey, Diamond." And as I look back and Rock gets out of my way now, I should say Big Show gets out of my way, I could see The Rock, and he's putting on one of those old $1,500 Versace shirts he used to wear. And you could see him rolling into character. And he said, Diamond, there's only one people's champion. Oh. And Big Show's like, whoa.
Oh. Them's fighting words.
And I just sat there and we just hit that dead stare. I said,
Diamond,
Rock,
I don't know if you can
you're
see
right.
the chat room, but everyone's freaking out that you're on the show right now.
Yeah, we've got a lot of wrestling fans.
All right, so listen to what The Rock says to me. He says, there's only one people's champion. I get him with that dead stare, and I said, Rock, you're right. And you, well, you're looking at him. Oh! And I was out the door, and Big Show's like, oh, my God, nobody stuffs him like that. And that night, me and Big Show went out and got shit-faced. And I ended up back in my room about 3 in the morning. And again, Kim and I were still together, and she was the leader of the Nitro Girls and all that. Yep. And I woke her up, and I said, I got to tell you the way I'm going to the WWF. And she was like, what? I mean, I just signed a multi-million-dollar 3-year deal. Right. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm like, no, this is how I'm going to show up. And I said, just pay attention. Make her wake up. I go, they're going to turn off all the lights. And everybody's going to think it's going to be Jericho. But then it's going to go 10, 15, 20 seconds, nothing.
And
then for the first time ever, you hear my voice in a dark building. Who's the real people's champion? And the spotlight hits me. You're looking at him.
Oh, man. I just got full body chills on that, man. Whew.
It would have been unbelievable. And I gave that idea to Vince coming in there. And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. But he's working with Booker T.
Right.
And, we really want you to do this stalker angle, which was the worst career move I ever made. But that moment right there, I would later realize I should have got up and walked away from the table and said, Vince, great idea, but really not for DDP.
Right.
Whenever you're ready to do People's Champion versus People's Champion, give me a call. Now, I didn't do that, but what did I learn out of that? What I learned, because I'm always trying to find the positive no matter what.
Right.
Because we are all a product of our decisions that we make, right or wrong. Mm-hmm. So I really did a lot of soul searching on that. Because I really dropped the ball there, especially with the amazing career I had. That would have just put the cherry on top.
Sure.
And so later on, I would come up to a deal with ABC, with Sharktank, and numerous other ones. But when it came to Shark Tank, I made a goal that we were going to get on there the following year because we'd missed the cutoff from the year before.
Right.
And I set a goal. I set a date. I went through 5 different interviews to finally get accepted in. Wow. And then they sent me a 27-page contract.
That's a lot.
And when it got right down to the whole contract, I said to my business partner, Steve Yu, I said, send him an email saying, thank you. We love the show, but we're going to pass. Because they wanted to control me way too much.
Right.
And I was never going to let that happen again. And he looks at me and goes, dude, we just spent 1.5 years on this. You're going to walk away from this? I said, unless I get to do it my way, I'm never going to put myself in that position again, ever.
Right.
Bottom line is 90 minutes later, they called me, the executive producer. How do we fix this? 3 contracts they rewrote, and I said no to. When I finally got the contract that I wanted, we could do whatever we wanted to do except for a reality show.
Right.
I said, I'm in. And we made $1 million in 6 days. That's how many sales we got off of Sharktank just the first 6 days.
I want to work with him.
Yeah, no kidding. That's the man to work with right there.
Well, but think about it. Yeah, and I just as a up and coming indie filmmaker and doing radio and everything, I'm very protective of my stuff. Anything that I make, I'm if I don't have final say, then I don't want to pursue
Smart.
it. You know,
Smart. You gotta have it.
And my biggest thing, especially with Hollywood these days, is they got to control everything, reboots and remakes and all this other bullshit that's out there. And I don't want to write a script and go, here, okay, whatever. You know, I don't want to fall into the Joss Whedon things with Buffy the Vampire Slayer until he took over. So I agree with him 100%. You know, it's your baby. You know, it's your project. It's your life. Why have somebody else control it when you can go, no, this is not how it works.
Well, when they really want you, you can do that. And that's where sometimes you have to make those along the way concessions. But example, Vince really wanted me to be there. I mean, bad. I was the only major superstar that he took because I was the face of WCW. But that's another reason why he wanted me. He wanted me in that stalker angle so they could poof. Look, WCW really wasn't that great because it's a work. That's a work.
Yeah.
You know, that's predetermined storylines A to Z. You know, I would love, like me and Taker today are pretty good buddies. I would love to have that relationship with him when I walked in there.
Right.
But you know, he really appreciates what, you know, the results, you know, Scott Hall and Jake both coming back and getting into the Hall of Fame. You know, and they both, you know, were super spotlighted on while they were there. So it was just a great, I got to induct Jake on my birthday. You know,
that's
on my
awesome.
58th birthday. Yeah,
see, I didn't know that was your birthday, but happy belated birthday because it's been a couple of months since WrestleMania. You know, would you ever consider going back in the ring, or do you think you're done?
No. I would have done it even a couple of years ago with Randy Orton because the RKO versus the Diamond Cutter.
Oh, Diamond Cutter by far.
Diamond Cutter by far.
You're the only one that I know of that can do that Diamond Cutter from any area of the ring. You know, I mean,
you should have had that patent pending. That's what you should have had. Back then, anyone who does it, you'll automatically get a cut every time they diamond cut somebody.
That would be cool.
The most imitated move of the 90s, without question. One of my greatest moments. Jake Roberts was my mentor besides Dusty Rhodes. Without Dusty Rhodes, there would never have been a Diamond Dallas Page.
Right.
He gave me every break I ever got in the beginning of my career that meant anything. But Jake's the one who helped me understand the psychology of wrestling. Because when you think of something that's, you know, outlined, I wouldn't say choreographed because there's just too much to learn in a choreographed routine. More of an outline with preparation meets improvisation. And Jake taught me a lot. So when it came time to return the favor, I've thought about it a bunch of times and never really came up with anything until it came back to helping him get out of this hole where he just wanted to die. And now he's so full of life. Right now, he's down in Texas with his twin boys and his grandkids. Wow. And they're filming some of the stuff for the twins, you know, for the movie The Resurrection of Jake the Snake.
Right.
That's going to just, because, again, it's DDPYoga all through that, but not. You know, it's his salvation that helps give him the confidence that he can, you know, that, yes, I can feel a lot better. I can alleviate a lot of this pain, break up the scar tissue, etc. Right. You know, like, wow, I can actually do stuff again when you thought you couldn't.
And just as an example, because from what we've seen lately with him, when he was on, I think it was Beyond the Mat.
Yeah.
That documentary.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big life difference between the two. The Jake from then and the Jake now. The difference is amazing. It's like he was completely reborn.
Yeah, and
you know,
if you watch,
again,
Okay.
ahead.
If you
Go,
watch
Punch.
on the mat and then you watch the old school Raw where he actually came out and partook in a spot, the difference is just staggering. Thanks to it.
We actually we use something in the movie that's even more timely than that. There's some footage of Jake on TMZ.
Oh.
That is way. It's even worse than the stuff that was up there on Beyond the Mat. And Beyond the Mat was the beginning when Jake wasn't aware of what he was doing because he was so high he didn't care at the time. But once that got public, that just started the real bad descent.
Right.
And the stuff that was on TMZ, that was 2005 or 6 or 7. I can't remember when that was, but that was his lowest point. And I didn't even know about it till after we got him up here, and then we got the guy who was there, and we interviewed him. And there's a real extreme high, then a real extreme low, and then it starts this. Because you'll see that we filmed everything raw.
Wow.
Like, I have cameras all over my house. I call it the DDP's accountability crib. And
That can make for some interesting film.
Yeah.
Right.
Only Danielle.
I can't do that at my place. That's the point.
Only Danielle would suggest that.
The first time I showed Jake getting screwed up,
yeah.
And when I went to pick him up at the airport, people were like, okay, this isn't just going to be a feel-good thing. This is like real. Like, if there'd be point in times where something would be happening, everybody stop, Chris or Steve, and they'd come running in with a close-up camera to go with everything else we were doing. So, I mean, I would just tell, don't say anything, because once you say it, it's not real.
Right.
Then it becomes forced, or it's like, wait until we get here. Like, if Jake had fallen and I got to talk to him, everybody's waiting with cameras for me to get there, get with Jake.
Right.
Now let's start talking.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting.
And in the meantime, like you're taking the reality of it to a whole new level. This is unscripted. It's real. It's happening as it's happening, and you don't see that these days.
Everything's scripted reality bullshit.
Has WWE been talking to you about as far as like relations with past wrestlers, since it is rough once they're gone from the company for a lot of them? Jake and Scott Hall is two big examples of that. But have they kind of went to you about probably making a plan like the NFL does with their retired players?
No, they never have. And I went to Triple H because we're good friends back in the day when we first started. And we still stayed buddies throughout this journey. But when I first started to work with Jake, which was like, I can't remember if it was September or October. I think it was October. I think I started working. I started giving him stuff to do in September to see if he could do it himself. Because if he couldn't do it himself, I wasn't going to do the work for him. Mm-hmm. Like, he had to do stuff on his own to get my attention, which he did. But I went up to film the very best of Nitro 2. And afterwards, I went by to meet with Triple H. And I said, listen, I'm not saying I'm going to be able to do this, but I just want you to be aware that I'm working with Jake, and because there's nobody who thought that was ever going to turn into anything. And I just made him aware. And down the line, maybe I'm filming this movie. Maybe you want to be involved down the line. So I just made him aware of that. And then I wanted to bring Jake that year, which was not this year, but last year, to Hall of Fame. And, he had to be straight for a while before they let him do that. Right. And I ran into Hunter again. And when we talked, he was like, listen, I know that you're working with Scott. I know that you're working now. You're working with Jake and things are going really good. You're working with Scott now. Listen, Dally, next year, I really don't think it's a good idea to bring Jake to this Hall of Fame. And I was like, okay, no worries. He goes, but next year, if you keep doing what you're doing, he goes, I'll do everything I can to help those guys get not only there, but maybe even into the Hall of Fame. So Triple H said that like a year before it happened.
Wow.
But they had to do A, B, C, D.
Right.
They
had to go through the loops in order to make sure that all right,
Right.
this is going to be safe because we've heard it, we've seen it where Scott Hall has lashed out at somebody, or
Oh yeah.
and it sucks that for a lot of the people that don't know this, some of this really hits wrestlers hard.
It does.
It's
and they're got to remember they're both addicts.
Yeah.
So they could both They could both fall right now. I don't. I'm not there. I once they moved out of my crib, they were on their own. Now, but they're not completely on their own. Scott lives 2 miles from me. Jake lives 2 miles from me the other way, and Jake is way more consistent.
Yeah.
Scott right now is. He's a little bit. He's not where he needs to be, but he'll find his way back around because he always does.
Sure,
he does. He always finds his way back to get to where he needs to get to, and when he's ready to put that work in, then I'm there to help him. Okay. But I can't be there. I'm doing a lot of stuff. We're building our first DDPYoga Performance Center. I just closed on 2 of the 3 pieces of property that I'm buying because what we're doing with DDPYoga, originally there was records,
right,
and now they're actually coming back. But records were taken place by the 8-track. Then that got taken cassettes, then MP3s, then the iPod. The only thing is left is the DVD, and that will be gone in 3 to 5 years. Right now,
give or take,
everything I have set up is on DVD.
Right,
and Punchy knows because you figured that's how you do it. But in the next 3 to 5 years, DVDs are done.
Yeah,
maybe shorter. I'm building a complex right now called the DDPYoga Performance Center, where we're building a studio. And I don't mean yoga studio. I mean performance studio, where we were filming our workouts live. That'll go right from there, right to your app, right to your TV. It's going to be amazing.
I'm going to do a shameless thing. If you need anybody, I'm for hire. I will move. I will move out of Connecticut and help this man. I have no problem doing that. Not for cheap, obviously, but hey, you got to make a living, right?
Don't sell yourself cheap. I get that.
Yeah, you got to make a living. That's why I always offer the video to everybody who comes on the show as well as audio, so they can share it and be promo whores, because that's what we do. How do you become a instructor for the DDPYoga?
Oh, it's good. Oh yeah, we just really opened that up a couple months ago because I had to make it where you didn't have to come to me or I didn't have to come to you, especially for level 1. If you go to DDPYogacertification.com, it's all there.
Right.
And one of my business partners who helped develop this would be his name is Dr. Craig Aaron, one of the greatest chiropractors on the planet, applied kinesiologist, but also been a yogi for 25 years. And he's one of the first guys that was like a regular dude,
right,
that taught yoga. And I was like, you teach yoga? And in the beginning, you had that sort of yoga state of mind. But then we watched the Yankees one time, and he was like, what the F? I'm like, hey, dude, what happened to the namaste? And I realized that's who you really are.
Of course.
And then when we did this, I said, Doc, I want someone who's really got great credibility to come with me on this journey. And he's been amazing with me. So he critiques and he certifies everyone. I'm actually doing that like a retreat I told you on July 5th to the 15th out of Mexico. And I've got 7 different certified trainers going to be there. So I'm going to put them up at different points. So now they're going to be working with me. Cool. Or in tandem, one will take half the workout, another will take half. So I'll get not only to work with them and see how they're doing, but also give them little critiques here and there. And then they're all working towards their level 2 certification. By the time you get to a level 4, you're doing what I'm doing. You're training people to be able to train people. Right. And that's one of the most challenging things.
Punchy, would you consider doing that?
I would definitely consider it. I mean, I'm actually recently started doing the Extreme Psycho workouts, so I'm getting up there.
Wow, that's awesome.
Punchy's moving up.
That's awesome. But you see, that's another great thing. That what Punchy has too is he is a before and after.
Yeah.
So he gets to show, this is where I was. Does it work? This is where I am.
Right.
Watch this. You know? And so, Punch, we're going to get together. I'm going to give you my number and stuff, and I'm going to help you, take that to another level. I do that all the time. I called 10 people today, and 4 of them I actually got through to who actually bought the program today. You know, and I got a lot of people buying the program every day now, especially with the Sharktank hit. But every day I try to call a couple people and say, thanks for getting the program and why did you get it? Tell them about Team DDP Yoga. And then, as they move forward, there are people who are already saying, and at some point I want to be certified. But right now we got a lot of people in that program. But this is the world and it's still so new. This is like the baby stages,
And even for the baby stages, I mean, it's taken off big time.
Yeah, we're lucky.
And Punchy, I mean, Punchy, you were what? Three what?
367. Now I'm at 237.
So, I mean,
130.
You've been kicking
What's the
ass.
goal? What's the goal, Punch?
Depending on how it looks, like whatever I can get to, but my this general area is around 200, 180.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. I want to get you on our under construction page because we have 3 pages. One where people hit their goal, other people under construction, and you get to see those numbers all the time. Those people change and update their stuff. And we're making up another one that's just about pain management because I get so many things on. We're just taking clips from people on Facebook. I had a woman the other day, actually a couple months ago, wrote, I've never written on Facebook once, but I've been following you on Facebook, and I've been doing the program for 3 months. And she said, I have to tell you, I have fibromyalgia, and I have been in excruciating pain every day for the last 15 years. She goes, this morning, I woke up pain-free. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nice.
Pain-free would be what it's about for me. I mean, I've been... Over the past 10 years, I've been having my back problems and everything, and it's just like anything else. If it's not taken care of, and we won't get into the VA thing, but we don't
you
talked about the surgeries and stuff like that. I haven't been able to do anything. It took them 5 years just to figure out what was wrong with my back, and it's not just one thing. There's like 6 different things that have progressed and gotten to this point where, I mean, it takes me 10 minutes just to try and get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
It takes me 3-4 minutes just to stand up from sitting in this chair after we get done with the show, and so pain management would be one of the biggest things for me. Obviously, my wife has been fighting me for the last 7 years, try to get me up to the weight that I am now. So the weight loss wouldn't be a thing for me, but it would be more the flexibility and the pain management and that kind of thing to where I could get back to living a life. I mean, I go out and mow half the lawn and I'm done for 2 days. So that would be the main thing that I would be looking at with it.
And to me, it's quality of life.
Exactly. Exactly. And right now, to be blatant, my quality of life sucks. I mean, I've got a wife that loves me and a great house and everything else, but it's very, very hard for me to be able to enjoy it because of the pain that I'm in constantly.
And you're way too young for that, man. Way too young. And that's where the food comes in. I'm just telling you. Mm-hmm. There are foods, and Punchy can back me up on this, because it's all about the inflammation. The 3 things that cause the most inflammation in your body: wheat, dairy, sugar. Now, sugar I've just recently cut back a lot on, but I still eat way too much because I'm a sugar addict, just like everyone else. Mm-hmm. But those 3 things, when I cut down my sugar big time, I feel again another notch more. Now you add that into breaking up scar tissue, and that's what being flexible is: breaking up scar tissue. That's all it really is.
Right.
Oh man, and cutting carbs too. I mean, that's been a huge thing for me. That's a huge willpower test since I'm North Jersey Italian family.
Sure.
So,
sure.
There's a Jersey plug for you.
Shameless
what part of Jersey,
plug.
Punch?
The Morris, Sussex County area in the northwest part.
I'm a Point Pleasant boy, down the shore.
2 totally different ends of the state. I love it.
Smallest state, one of the smaller states, most densely populated, though.
from my home county where I was born, me, Bam Bam Bigelow, Danny DeVito, Jack Nicholson, John Bon Jovi, and Bruce Springsteen. Ocean Monmouth County area.
There you go. That's the as us Long Islanders would put it, the Hamptons. And I may be living in Connecticut, but I'm from Long Island, so I know that's the Hamptons. Danielle, you have a question, right?
My question was answered already, but JJ Stoner in the chat room said, "Is there a wrestler today that you see going down a wrong path that you would want to work with before something bad happens?"
Not really wrong path. I'll tell you what, these kids today, they're like, we were out partying. Like, that was a big part of our deal. We went on Monday nights right from the ring to the bar to watch the replay. I mean, we partied a lot, and I'd cut down my partying as I got into my 40s, but I still, a couple nights a week, still, that was part of it. Today they play video games, and, a lot of my guys took a lot of painkillers. I'll never forget, I was with Jake on my early road trips. I was like 36, and he put a pill in his mouth and was chewing it. I said, "Is that a Percocet you're chewing?" He's like, "Yeah." I go, "Why are you chewing it?" He said, "It goes right into your bloodstream faster." And I said, "How many is that?" He said, "I don't know, 9, 10.
Jesus.
9. Yeah, and we were drinking a while by that time. So, I knew I needed those things to work. So I never really used painkillers as, entertainment, because the few times I did, I thought that buzz was too good. And I need these things to work. So I more or less parented myself. But today, those kids can't even take them. If they have Percocets or Vicodin on their prescription pad, they know exactly the number and why they are taking them. They really back that shit off, because they don't want what happens with so many deaths. A lot of it probably had to do with the muscle relaxers, because your heart's a muscle. And when you take, you're trying to kill the pain and take muscle relaxers from cramping to let it calm down. And you take them and you're drinking, you take them and you're drinking, just the wear and tear of the road, your body, really screws you up. Today, I'll tell you what, of all the professional athletes on the planet, and even though ours is sports entertainment, we're still some highly paid professional athletes. Nobody has a better wellness program than a WWE. Wow. Nobody.
I mean, it has evolved over time. That's for sure.
It had to. It had to.
Especially, I mean,
too many deaths, too many everything outside the ring. I mean, you see a lot of the stuff that goes on, and it's good to see they finally stepped up and
absolutely
updated the program and realized that they need to take care of the guys that you're making all that money off of. And, that's entertaining for all those years with the fans to take care of them after the fact. And it's good to see that.
And they, there are guys who in the past will just keep wrestling hurt, and thus it would kind of feed the addiction more. So it's a good thing they finally did implement that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's still the big thing that I know they're big time aware of too, which everyone's aware of right now, is concussions.
Right.
And I can't even tell you how many I had.
Well, I mean, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure some of the chair shots that you've taken, I mean, that's like whack. Son of a bitch.
I always say it's not checkers.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, I was fortunate to.
When I was on Hollywood Squares, there was 2 questions that I've always remembered funny, because the one was, when somebody, the other actors would say, so when is your season? When are you guys off? And I'd say,
"What?
When I'm hurt." And the other one was, "How do you fake those chair shots?" You don't. You try to hit the guy square, but that's after that.
Yeah. What was the worst finishing move you ever had to take?
Well, you say scary stuff, because you don't know. Like the first time you take a hurricanrana when you're sitting on the top rope and the guy's going to jump up, wrap his legs around you and flip you. You're going to fly through the air to the ground. That's a little scary. When you're younger, not so scary. As you get older, scary. Big Show choke slamming me off the top rope. You know, looking back at that bump, now I took it 3 times one day. The hardest one that was the realest, nothing fake about it, I probably took 60 of, which was Macho Man off the top rope coming down on your rib cage. I swear to you,
man.
he didn't protect. I love Mach. He gave me my career at its highest level. He is, you know, by just the feud I had with him, feud of the year in '97. But when he hit you, you were his crash pad.
Oof.
And man, that hurt. The first time I thought my guts were blowing out my side. I mean, I was like, oh my God. He actually landed on my, I'll tell you the story here for the wrestling fans out there who really love this. The second match we had was Bash at the Beach. I have the match, and I've already been asking Mach, please stop landing on my ribs. I'm pissing blood, and I pissed blood for 13 out of 16 weeks. So I was like, try to land on my stomach, bro. No one will know. And this night was the second pay-per-view night. And you know, when it gets a 3-hour show, when it gets that 3 hours, there's no running late. Right. Whoever goes, a lot of them go to another channel.
Yeah.
So you've got to be done in 3 hours. So they were yelling, go home. The referee's going, we got to go home. We're running out of time. So I know that it's really close timing. So we're trying to get to that spot. Scott Hall comes in and he hit me with a belt. And if Scott Hall had a weapon, he had a weapon.
Oh, boy.
And I'm telling you, he hit me so hard. He's my buddy. Then he hit me with the razor's edge. Then Macho's going to come off the top. Now, the next thing I know, I'm walking backstage with Kimberly. And I look at her and I go, did I just wrestle?
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
And she said, what? I said, did I just wrestle? She said, Paige, what do you mean? I go, did I just wrestle? She goes, Paige, you're scaring me. Stop saying that. I go, what the? Blah, 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 blah. What am I doing? Is it Nitro? Did I just get done wrestle? Just tell me what's happening. She goes, oh, no. You don't remember? She said, this is Bash at the Beach. You just wrestled Randy Savage. I went, oh, God. I go, what happened?
What did he do?
So if you watch this, you can go to YouTube and watch it. Right as Randy is getting his hand raised by Scott, I sit up halfway. Thank God I go back down. It goes to black.
Wow.
Here's what happened after that. I sit up again like The Undertaker.
Oh.
This is like the biggest taboo in wrestlers. I mean, this is fighting shit.
Right.
This is heavy. I sit up. I stand up, wobbling, fall backwards, fall through the ropes, give them both the finger, and walk back. And that's where I meet. Kimberly says, you just wrestled. Oh my God. And I look around, they're not around me. I gotta go. I go in the locker room and I put the table in front of me because I know this is kick the door in. We're fighting shit.
Right.
Think of it like this. John Wayne and Clint Eastwood just shot the #1 bad guy. And he stands up and goes, didn't hurt me. That guy would never work again, right?
Right.
So these guys are pissed. That door kicks open. They start cutting a promo on me. And I'm like, I was knocked out. I don't remember anything. And then starts this, the language going back and forth. Finally, I threw the table out of the way. I go, if you think I'm bullshitting, let's go. I go, if you think I would do that, I would never do that.
Right.
So they walk away pissed off. Now I'm starting to feel something like a little ball in my mouth. And then I feel it's like a golf ball. By the time I get to the hospital, and I'm not going there for WCW, because I go there for WCW and it's something serious, I can't work tomorrow night.
Right.
So I go on my own insurance. By this time, it's a softball. And my whole face looks like this. So they tell me I got a concussion, blah, blah, blah. The next night we're in Chicago, Illinois at the United Center. and I am waiting at the bottom of the ramp. You have to walk in this way.
Right.
And I'm just sitting up on one of the things, the crates they put the music stuff in and shit, and the speakers and stuff. And here comes Randy. I've been waiting for like an hour, and I'm just gonna sit there. I'm not gonna say anything. And he sees me, and he comes walking up, and he sees my face, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Sorry, brother."
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
Yeah, sorry, brother. Yeah, dig it, dig it, dig it.
Thanks for slapping my Slim Jim. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
That was one of my favorite lines. Snap into this.
I think he snapped in the DDP. I think he just. Wow.
Oh, wow. I know we're over time, but someone asked one more question. They wanted to know if where is it? I just lost it. Oh, using the Xbox Kinect. Do you see anything going with the DDP yoga? Maybe some type of workout or something that.
I do. I do see something crossing over with that because I honestly believe, and I said this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's funny now because it's just starting to come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
I said in the next 5 years, what we're doing with DDP Yoga is going to totally blow by what I was so fortunate to have been able to be a part of in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I honest to God believe in the next 3 years, DDP Yoga will be a household name along the lines of P90X and Insanity. And all the people who do P90X and Insanity and CrossFit, all great workouts, they beat the hell out of your body.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you're not going to be able to reach your arms to the heavens so the universe smiles back at you, yoga. You're going to need to do 1, 1, 1, 2, squeeze it in, diamond cutter, take it back, hulk it up, brother. Attention. That's the kind of DDP yoga those people can understand.
Yeah.
So the windfall from the people who do P90X, who do Insanity, who do CrossFit,
Right.
in the next 3 years is going to be insane.
Right. It is. And honestly, I'm thinking of getting it just for my knee.
And I do have to point out, one of the best things about the workouts is you keep it fun. No matter
Yes, thank you.
whether it's energy or whether it's extreme psycho, you still keep it fun.
Extreme psycho?
That's
Sounds like
the
an ex of mine.
Yeah. That's the name of the workout. And there's a Black Crow part in there at the end. He just says, "Oh, you see that crazy shit?"
Because I jumped when I told you about the crow thing where you elbows on the knees. I jump back, and then I jump and land on my knees. Then I jump back and I jump and land on my knees. The third time, I didn't even only landed on one knee, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy! Say this crazy shit." I'm just having fun with it. But on the energy workout, the first one you'll do, it's 20 minutes. It's not 90 minutes. It's 20. And there's always that one person modifying. And then there's me and someone doing the more challenging position. That's Arthur.
Yeah.
That's the disabled
Absolutely.
veteran. You see him at 165 or whatever he is from 297. And he's lean and strong as hell. And then later, where you'll see as it progresses, there's so many different workouts. On a 70-minute workout, it's called Double Black Diamond. Ooh. There's 4 people. One's modifying. Then there's this guy over here doing the most challenging positions. That's Arthur again.
Nice.
And then all our new stuff, I've got Arthur in a bunch of it. And because I want people to see, look at him now. That's 6. Well, when you see him in the DVDs, that's 4 years later. Where you see him today is 7 years later.
Wow. I mean, it's
Double Black Diamond's a fun one too.
It is. And I try to make them. I try to make them fun. Anybody who wants to learn about what we're doing, go to DDPYoga.com. I've got a bunch of specials up there. I even have a special up there right now with our brand new mats, our DDP Yoga mats, combined with the heart monitor. And those mats, these are the deluxe premium mats that are 85 inches. They're way thicker than a regular mat. I designed these for me to use. That's how I design everything, because I know I only want to use the best. And we got 3 different programs up there. It's all up on ddpyoga.com. But if you still you feel like this was an infomercial, go on Facebook, DDP Yoga, one word, read what those people write under posts, or go to Twitter @RealDDP, @DDP Yoga, and read what people are writing right now. You see, when my career took off and got insane, and people chanting DDP or Stone Cold or Hogan or DDT, whatever it is, it's so hard to get people to actually chant your name. I can't even explain it. That just shows you how over Daniel Bryan is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because and CM Punk, so over. You can't make people do that. Just like you can't make people write what they write on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
They got to be moved to say this shit's the bomb. And over 25% of my sales every single day, friends and family. That's how people hear about it.
Absolutely. It's word of mouth marketing is by far one of the best ways to do things these days, and you save money too.
And I do want to point out too that when you did the yoga and came back, you came back and had your highest years as far as popularity is concerned at an age when a lot of guys are retiring in the industry.
Right. It was a crazy run. And to be perfectly honest, I could go back out and do it again, but I would be so beat up.
Yeah.
Nothing is worth that to me. My body feels great right now. As soon as I get done with you guys, I'm going to grab something to eat. Me and my girl are going to do a workout. It's a great way to bond. On Facebook today, I just seen like a couple of people that are in their 30s or 40s doing it with their kids because they put the pictures up or videos up. Great bonding stuff for you and your old lady, between you and your kids, your grandkids. I got grandkids doing it with their grandpas. It's really cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into it.
You just got two new people.
Well, let's come back. Once you get the program stuff, let's come back in like 30 days and see where, let's see where JT is and everybody's at. Let's see where,
I'm game. You guys game?
I'm game.
I'm game.
Do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm excited.
Letting guys know as soon as you do buy it, you get to go. They bring you to a Team DDP Yoga website and the introductory videos on there, so you don't have to just wait for the package to come in to be able to start the program.
Nice.
like boom, it's there. And I encourage people to go by and just try it, go see. And then they're like, oh my God, wow, I've been doing it with you on your site, and then I just went and got it. You know what the biggest thrill is, though? I've had people rip it, and I've had at least 7 people write me, and I had one person who came to the workshop that I did in New Orleans, and he paid for the program and said, I don't need it, though. I feel bad I ripped it. It's been the greatest thing that happened to me. He goes, I want to pay for it. And she goes, oh, my God. She goes, no, my girl's taking the money. And she goes, no, you've got to take the program. He goes, but I don't need it. I've already got it. She said, give it to someone else. You have to go tell him that story. And it wasn't like, I was like, that's awesome. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as the people are getting something out of it, it's all good. Everything goes circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
It goes around, comes around.
Absolutely. DDP, thank you for being on the show today, man. First of all, I appreciate it because the surprise for Punchy alone, he went ape shit last week when we told him. He went so total wrestling fan Mark guy that I'm surprised he didn't have an orgasm while he was sitting in his chair.
He probably
Who says he didn't?
Yeah, he might have. I don't know. I got video to prove that we told him.
Yeah. I didn't make any weird faces. I'm good.
Yeah, no, you did pretty good. Not gonna lie. So back at 30, we're all gonna do this, right?
Yep.
We're all in agreement. We're gonna work on the DDP for 30 days and see where we all fit in, right?
And Punchy can be your coach here. And
Punchy,
direct. Send me a message on send me a message on Team DDP Yoga today with your phone number, and I'm gonna get you guys a really good discount on everything too.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. We absolutely appreciate that. That's gonna. He's awesome. I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna mark out. Now I'm marking out.
When you sent me the text last night, so you've got to be on the show because I've been gone for a few weeks. I'm like why? Like Diamond Dallas Pages. I'm like done. Like, I don't care if I got a funeral. I don't care if my parents' funeral is happening. I'll be there somehow.
The Sully Show brought to you by DDP Yoga.
Hey, you never know.
Hey,
We might be able to work something out.
I mean, it's too starstruck. I mean, watching you years ago, I used to watch wrestling all the time. I mean, I'm not as big a fan as Punchy, but then just coming on the show and hearing your voice when I sat back down was a little ridiculous. It's like Twilight Zone.
But now I got to watch that Bash at the Beach moment.
Bash
I'm
at
gonna
the
have to go back.
beach. Yeah, the beach.
Because I have all those DVDs from back in the day, so now I'm gonna have to go back and check all that stuff out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch like everything.
One of the things the network, the WWE network, is the greatest thing to happen. If you guys aren't on it, you should check it out because it's the greatest thing to happen to any wrestling fan because you could be in line at the bank and you pull up the WWE network and I'll just watch some stuff that they have there or the backstories that they did on Daniel Bryan going into his world championship. That was one of the best things I have ever seen, bar none, compared to anything NFL's done, HBO's done. Really, really, really quality stuff they're doing there.
And this is where the entertainment industry is going. New media is the thing. And, and you are one of the people that sees it.
Gonna happen. It's happening right before our eyes.
You know it's happening. I mean, even with us, we do the show with both audio and video. You know, why just do one? We can do both. You know? So, DDP, thanks for being on. I really appreciate it. Do that again. I want to get that on camera. That was awesome. Do it again.
You want to know what that was? That was a fly right there. I was trying to get him. And I missed him by that much.
Just a little bit. Thank you for being on again. Punchy, make sure you email him.
Immediately after the show.
Do it. Do it whether you like it or not.
It's been your pleasure. See ya.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was awesome. We got to get out of here. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the full interview of Diamond Dallas Page, the master of the diamond cutter himself, right here on The Sully Show on morelikeradio.com. Make sure you click the subscribe button, leave a comment for us. If there's a guest you want on the air, we'll try and get him for you, or her, doesn't matter. Don't forget to click More Like Radio's YouTube subscribe link, as well as check them out on Facebook and Twitter. You can also check out me on Twitter at The Sully Show, and of course, Facebook.com/The Sully Show. Real simple, real easy. We're here live Sundays noon to 2 Eastern on morelikeradio.com. We'll see you next time.